Welcome everyone. In this chapter, we will focus on one of the most critical success factors in textile labs and dye houses: right first time, or RFT. Understanding RFT will help us reduce rework, save cost, and build strong buyer confidence. Let's begin. What is RFT and why it matters? RFT, or right first time, means completing a job correctly on the very first attempt, without any correction or reprocessing. In dyeing, this means the lab recipe works perfectly in bulk production, and the approved shade is achieved without repeated trials. RFT is extremely important because it reduces waste, saves time and energy, improves delivery performance, and strengthens buyer trust. Top-performing mills typically target 90% or higher RFT, meaning most dyeing lots pass on the first run. How lab accuracy drives bulk dyeing RFT. The lab is the foundation of RFT in bulk dyeing. If the lab recipe is incorrect, production failure is almost guaranteed. Issues like wrong dye strength, lab-only optimization, or ignoring finishing effects directly lead to shade variation or rejection in bulk. That is why standard lab practices, accurate shade matching, and proper testing are essential for achieving strong RFT performance. Measuring and tracking RFT performance. To improve RFT, we must first measure it. RFT percentage is calculated by dividing the number of lots dyed correctly on the first attempt by the total number of lots dyed. For example, if 360 out of 400 lots pass on the first try, the RFT is 90%. Tracking this number monthly helps identify problems early and control dyeing costs. Common causes of poor RFT from the lab side. Many RFT failures originate in the lab. Common causes include poor dye compatibility testing, lab machines that do not represent bulk conditions, and insufficient technician training. Uncalibrated instruments and poor documentation also lead to wrong shade decisions. These issues must be controlled at the lab level to prevent costly production rework. Best practices to ensure RFT from the lab. To ensure strong RFT, lab teams must follow disciplined best practices. Lab dyeing conditions should closely mimic bulk production parameters. All dyes should be checked for batch variation, and recipes must be validated with final finishes applied. Regular instrument calibration, clear documentation, and continuous staff training are key pillars of RFT success. Quick example: lab recipe check sheet. This simple lab recipe check sheet shows how RFT can be controlled before bulk production. By confirming liquor ratio, finish effect, delta values, fastness results, and data recording, the lab ensures the recipe is truly production ready. Such checklists significantly reduce shade failures and improve bulk success rates. Key notes from Chapter 2. To summarize this chapter, RFT is a major driver of profitability and delivery performance in dyeing operations. Lab accuracy directly determines bulk dyeing success. Regular tracking of RFT helps identify issues early, while standardized lab checks reduce rework and buyer complaints. A disciplined lab leads to consistent quality and satisfied customers. Lab Manager Cheat Sheet for RFT. This cheat sheet highlights the daily habits of high-performing labs. Always mimic bulk conditions, keep instruments calibrated, verify fastness before approval, and track lab-to-bulk performance. These simple practices create a strong RFT culture across lab and production. This concludes Chapter 2 on understanding RFT in the lab and production. By applying these principles consistently, we can reduce redyeing, save cost, and deliver quality right the first time. Thank you for your attention. Let's move to the next chapter.